This week...
Triumphs.
It's everything and more.
You happy?
Very happy.
So yet again...
No, you can't say that. You will go in troubled waters.
Tiaras.
I've waved my magic wand, and now I will say adieu.
And tantrum.
Yeah, but
I need to know. I don't know how you feel about this house.
Well, we're a couple, aren't we? So if one of us doesn't like it, the other one's not going to force the person to live here, so...
Okay, that's fine.
All right.
Yeah.
Welcome to Gloucestershire, where this week we're working with two couples wanting to navigate the property maze.
Mel and John have just returned from Oz, but life in Gloucestershire, it's not quite the open-plan idyll they're used to down under.
Meanwhile, Chris and Isabelle are hoping to begin married life in their own little love nest. But you can't live off love alone.
I think I'll leave it down there. With any luck, she'll get lost.
There's no escaping me, Phil. Both our couples have chosen a much sought-after spot to settle in. Gloucestershire has many areas of outstanding natural beauty, plus Cathedral City, Georgian market towns and quintessentially English Cotswold villages. But all this spells one thing.
High property prices. But we're searching in a buyer's market with lots of properties on offer, and this at least gives us the chance of negotiating a couple of good deals. Our first couple this week are Mel, a recently qualified naturopath who's setting up a new clinic, and management consultant John, who've lived in a wide variety of houses all over the world.
As a couple started in Glasgow, then we were in London, then Sydney, and now we're back in Gloucestershire.
9 months ago, they moved to the Gloucestershire countryside and started renting this converted barn.
I love the fact that for the first time ever, I've got chickens and a veggie garden. We've always lived in cities before this and had small courtyard gardens, so having a bit of space outside is lovely.
But this move isn't just about them. Mel and John are starting the process of adding to their family by adopting a child.
I guess we'll, up until now, have been a reasonably independent little unit, the pair of us, and that changes once you become a family and there's children involved.
Hello. Hi, I'm Phil.
Hi.
With 9 months' money already wasted on renting and the hope of a family on the way, we need to find out what stopped them buying their own home. Oh, my word. This is not what I was expecting. Wow. Look, this is only renters.
Yes.
Sadly, yes.
Jeepers. How special. How on earth am I going to compete with this?
Well, we haven't found anything yet. So we're hoping the expert is a bit more successful, but yeah, it's pretty special.
Game for challenge, let's put it like that. So what are we looking for?
Well, Mel probably likes character, and so some of the places we looked at character on the outside. I'd probably like more cleaner lines inside, and you have some of what you see around here. So,
what are you likely to compromise on at the end of the day?
For me, I think I can compromise more on the house than the location. I really would like a country, rural feel, peace and quiet and space roundabout.
So we know they want country life in the Cotswolds.
But what exactly do they want to live in?
Well, for up to 500 grand, the house must have 3 to 4 bedrooms with 2 bathrooms.
It has to have a large kitchen and entertaining area.
And room to grow with their new family.
Our second couple, Isabelle and Chris, are about to get married. As a live-in nanny and an army captain staying in barracks, they've never even set up home together, never mind bought together.
We've been together for over 6 years now, and the longest we've spent together at any one time is about 4 weeks. So it would be a massive benefit to have a place we can live together, which we haven't had.
No.
Isabelle has always stayed with families in live-in nanny quarters, and army boy Chris wants to ensure their new location is as safe as houses when duty calls. And one of them has some very specific ideas about their new home.
No.
Veto.
No.
Wait.
Obviously, I'd like my 2 bedrooms, good-sized bedrooms, and a living area, so I can put all my stuff out and make it my own. Or our own, I should say.
Quite right. Oh dear, I sense trouble ahead unless someone remembers that after he carries her over the threshold, he's going to be staying.
Hey, hello. Nice to meet you. It's clear looking around, guys, that you're still really you know, having your youth, that clubbing is at the heart of your existence. That you're not looking to nest in any way.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah. No. Give me your dream marital home.
A family home is what I'm looking for. The nitty-gritty of the house doesn't actually bother me that much as it does Isabelle.
For 210 grand, Isabelle and Chris want at least 2 bedrooms for their new marital home.
They would love a large kitchen and a garden.
And they'd prefer a period house with no work to do in a small village.
So, 2 completely new lives with 2 very different budgets and demands.
I'm with Mel and John in the villages of the Cotswolds, looking for a 500 grand home ready for their new family.
And I'm with Isabelle and Chris, who are about to get hitched and are desperate to find their marital home for 210 grand. So how was it for you, Mr. Spencer?
It was very good, thank you, very enjoyable. Yeah, Mel and John seemed absolutely on the ball. They've just moved back from Australia. Mel's setting up a new clinic, John's sort of finding his feet, they're trying to adopt a baby, so there's a lot going on.
Oh my lord, there is a lot going on.
Yeah.
Well, bless Isabelle and Chris, I shouldn't laugh. You know what she said to me? She said she's not worried about house hunting because she's planning a wedding and she knows that's far more stressful than house
Wrong. I trust you put her right there.
I did put her right, bless.
2 tricky searches. Now, I know that Mel's heart is in the countryside, but looking to their impending family, I wanted them to think about being in the heart of a thriving local community. So I'm taking them to a small village called Chalford Hill near Stroud. Well, let's start with the kitchen, seeing as that's the heart of the home.
Oh, wow, this is lovely.
And I was hoping that you'd feel there's a bit of memories of perhaps an Australian way of living or where you are currently living.
Yeah. No, it's great. It's good size.
Lots of space.
Yeah.
The compromise is, of course, that it is a village. But just under their maximum budget of 489 grand, they get the 4 bedrooms they want, a large open-plan kitchen, a spacious living area, and room for chickens. I know your ideal scenario is to have acres of space around you, but I just wanted to show you another option, if you like, thinking of forward of family life, of having people that you could, you know, knock on the door.
True, yeah.
Particularly, John, if you're going to be travelling away and that sort of
Yeah,
thing.
no, that actually is a good point that I have thought from time to time. It's all very well seeing this rural, idyllic, peaceful location, but if I am on my own and there is some crisis with the baby and you're not there, it actually is quite sensible to have people round about.
This is a good find for them. Open plan living and a built-in community. Whether Mel can compromise on the lack of countryside location is another matter.
You could use this as a study, couldn't you?
Yes.
You might have to be creative about where you put the furniture, but it's not that tiny. You've got a lovely view out of this window. Look at that.
That's stunning. Is this rural enough for you?
It's very peaceful. I know we're in the centre of a village, but it does feel very peaceful.
This place is very well set up for family life, and they're certainly being incredibly positive up there, which tells me one of 2 things. Either they are genuinely realistic and very switched on about things, or I'm not hearing the whole story. We're in Gloucestershire this week with 2 couples, both at crossroads, but both with a common aim: to put down new roots and establish new lives.
For Mel, it's an alternative career choice. But with husband John in tow, can she mix a potion for the perfect property?
Whereas for soldier Chris and nanny Isabelle, who they want a supercalifragilisticexpialidocious first home. I did that all right, didn't I?
You did brilliantly!
Mary Poppins may have been able to pull a lamp out of her handbag, but are you going to be able to pull a dream house out of yours?
I'll do my best. I'm helping Isabelle and Chris search for their marital home. They're on the hunt for a safe 2-bedroomed house with a separate kitchen and living area, which needs no work. We're starting our search in a quiet modern development in Moreton-in-Marsh, east of Cheltenham. It's a pretty market town filled with bars, cafes and traditional Cotswold stone properties. With 2 bedrooms, a decent kitchen and 3 bathrooms, this could be a good first property for them. It's only 2 years old and needs no work, so they could move straight in. It's 20 grand over budget, but in a buyer's market, everything's negotiable.
Right, guys. So, first room we see together. Now, you were quite quiet on the way in.
No.
First impressions?
Yeah.
Oh,
looks...
look, I see shoulders. I read body language.
Okay.
No. It's nice.
Right, now, kitchen diner.
It's a bit on the small side.
Telling me.
Yeah, it is quite small.
I can't see me
I mean,
entertaining around that,
yeah,
really.
you would struggle to entertain around that, wouldn't you?
You said when we first chatted that you thought the first house would be a reality check. Is it less or more of a reality check than you were expecting?
I thought it would be really bad. I thought you'd take us to something that would be open my eyes and go, uh-oh.
You thought I would manipulate the situation for my own ends?
No.
What kind of monster do you think I am?
I'm more impressed, definitely.
Yeah. And because it has, da-da-dun, moving on, ladies and gentlemen, a garden and...
a garage.
That's my line. Thank you very much.
Sorry.
Come on, out you come. Come and see the garden and the garage. Now, here we are. It's not a golf course, but enough room for a paddling pool and a sand pit.
This house is small, but it's what they can afford in their dream location, and it's in immaculate condition. All Chris would have to do is lift her over the threshold.
What do you think of this? Of this room?
I think it's a bit small. You couldn't fit a double bed in here at all.
You're thinking about people visiting?
Yeah. I mean, if we're going to have a second bedroom, I don't see the point of us having a single bed.
So, guys, you've seen it all now.
Yep.
First house we've seen together.
It is.
What do you think?
It's the space upstairs.
Yeah.
Right.
The ensuite upstairs is wasted on us.
Yes.
Yeah, no, that is the problem with modern developments. There are 3 loos in that house.
I don't want to clean 3 loos.
No, exactly. No, not if you're having to do it like every day, which is what proper people do, clean their loos every day.
It appears that size is indeed everything for Isabelle and Chris.
But increasing the size does mean compromising on something else like location or property style.
But it's only a small compromise with my next property. Mel and John want a spacious 4-bed rural home that's family future-proof. So I'm taking them to a stunning village in the heart of the Cotswolds. This modern house is right on the edge of the small town of Painswick, but is still just minutes from a thriving local community of young families.
It has 5 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms and a large open-plan living area, leading to a conservatory that has some of the best views in the Cotswolds. And that's why it's priced 40 grand over their top budget. But the joy is in the haggling.
Oh, wow.
Okay, I don't see any more.
This is fantastic. What a view. That is stunning.
I don't think it gets better than that. Well, I reckon this house has already blown the last property out of the water, and they haven't seen the 5 bedrooms yet. Now, I actually want to take you right to the top, but en route, just to give a bit of sort of geography, there's a nursery there, guest bedroom, both with ensuite bathrooms. Family bathroom, study for you, John.
Great.
And we'll head straight on up. And the master bedroom.
Wow.
Not only is it big and has its ensuite, but check that out.
That is amazing. Wow.
Can you imagine waking up to that?
The view is mesmerising.
Can we take you away from the window?
I know.
I just hope they can both pull themselves away from the windows long enough to analyse whether they could actually live here.
Okay, I think the bathroom might sell you.
It's lovely.
I could see us living here, definitely.
Not exactly a ringing endorsement.
Looking out this side of the house is absolutely fantastic because you're looking out onto rolling fields. Looking at that side or that side, you're looking out onto other houses. It's this side of the house that's doing it for me. The rest of it isn't particularly, but this is.
So what do you think of it? On balance, you've seen everything, you know everything about it.
It really works for me. I like it. I can see putting the barbecue up on the terrace. I can see us sitting out there.
Very nice.
And tell me, how are you dealing with the location of the house? It's in quite a big village. It's on the edge of the village, but it is a village rather than up a farm track.
It's a little bit estatey feeling.
It's a shame, because it's a fantastic family home and a couple of houses in a cul-de-sac does not an estate make.
But Mel really needs to be in a rural location, not just see it from her window. It seems she wants to live, essentially, in a field. And you couldn't get much further from that estate feel than the next property I'm going to show them. It's a country house on the outskirts of the village of Red Marley. A quaint but incredibly active community with cricket, rugby, tennis and football clubs, regular playgroups and yoga classes. It's yummy mummy heaven. This is the house. So what I particularly liked about this was the setting, because it's got the open fields that you were looking for, and the views from the top are stunning over there, as well as the community.
Yeah, I like it. I like it.
Smiling again.
How about you, John? What do you think of the look of the place?
I'm struggling a little bit at the moment, but
Okay.
I'm going to go in with an open mind.
Why are you struggling?
It's looking a bit cottagey, and I just associate cottage with small rooms, dark rooms, lots of walls, that sort of stuff. So I'm trying to put that out of my head and go in with an open mind.
You're going to need a little bit of vision.
Okay.
Okay.
It's beautifully done, but it's not the way that you do it.
Right.
Okay.
Come on. John has no need to worry about proportions, as this country house has some very uncottagey dimensions. They might want to play around with the rooms a bit, but at 445 grand, 55,000 under their budget, this 3-bed, 3-reception, 3-bathroom house with a wraparound garden could be reinvented in whichever way they dream.
Really not what I was expecting from the outside.
Better or worse?
I can see you smiling out there. Yeah. He doesn't know what he's in for. No, a lot better.
Right, good.
Yeah.
Good. You could have that as a seating area as well.
A good area for a child to play in.
Oh, I don't know, this might be the good room.
Well, she's making rules already.
The grown-up room.
And that theme continues in here, because
Oh, this is lovely.
you've got extra space, you've got further flexibility.
Love that fireplace. Wow.
They've been positive about every house they've walked into so far. But there's been no sparkle in Mel's eyes until now. I just hope John can get over his concerns about cottages.
I definitely could see us living in it as a family. I know there's some practical issues that we maybe have to think about, but it does have a really nice, warm feel about it. I think it would be a great family house.
John and Mel were always going to react in an emotional way, and they said as much to me when I first met them. They connected with this house, and with the setting of the house, I think, straight away, but I'm not convinced John's quite taken with it yet.
You're seeing yourself living here, aren't you?
Well, in a lot of ways, yes.
I'm worried about clothes and all of that stuff that we've got. I mean, we've got a whole storage unit full of stuff.
Yes.
That's a big compromise for a lot of that stuff.
True.
Let's cut to the chase. No conferring, okay? John, what are the disadvantages of this house? Couple of words.
Lots of work.
Mel.
Remodelling upstairs.
John, advantages.
Mel's going to love the location. I think this is great. I can see a child loving playing out here.
Mel, advantages.
Love the fact that it's a rural location, but also close to the village.
Yeah.
And so much space downstairs.
Okay.
It feels really, really roomy and airy. So, yeah, love that. And the garden is just beautiful and enclosed and safe and good for kids. So lots of advantages.
Got that feel to it.
Yeah.
Mel and John are working hard together to narrow down what kind of house would suit them both. I'm going to join Kirstie to find out whether live-in nanny Isabelle and barrack boy Chris are doing the same.
They weren't too sure they could entertain all their family and friends in the last house I showed them. So I'm hoping they'll both love this much larger home.
Now, I'm learning to read your body language very quickly, Isabelle.
Yes.
Either you're disapproving of having Phil Spencer here with us, or you
No, that's the best bit.
or you don't like this street.
To be honest, I'm not 100% happy with the street.
Well, does that make you nervous, the van reversing?
I just don't like it.
But you don't spend your life standing in the street.
But it's just the noise aspect of it.
Okay, Chris thinks you're being daft, I can tell.
I'm okay, I don't mind it.
No, he does, I can tell.
I look forward to getting in and seeing what it's like inside.
Okey-doke.
The vans have got to be a sign of people spending money on their houses, doing it up, investing in the area.
Exactly, yeah, well done. You see, Phil can put a spin on anything. He's the spin meister.
Come on.
Let's get in there.
Not a great start, I grant you, but I'm hoping Isabelle will be bowled over by the space inside. This terraced house has 3 bedrooms, a large kitchen and dining area, a separate sitting room and a good-sized garden. And despite Isabelle's reaction, she hasn't just stepped into one of Chris's war zones. This is actually a genteel cul-de-sac.
I like the inside. There's still a few things. It's that first impression of the front of the house. It's bothering me. The garden, I prefer the garden yesterday, and it's a lot quieter. It's the sound of traffic.
I don't know that it's that helpful to keep comparing in your own in your mind.
No, you're wrong, Phil. It is.
It's useful to learn from different elements.
No, I'm going to disagree with you, Phil. Yesterday, we walked away saying, probably not, too small upstairs. Now, Isabelle's coming to this house, which is bigger by, I reckon, 100, 200 square feet. Okay. And she's harking back to the peace and quiet of the previous house.
But one thing that I'm a bit worried about would be I don't think I'd feel as safe in this house as I would in the other one.
I take Izzy's point on the security, because yesterday was so quiet, and you did feel safe when you were there.
But right now, I think you boys should go away, because Isabelle feels bullied.
She's looking a bit bullied.
Yes, she's looking a bit bullied.
Okay, we'll go upstairs.
Okay.
Chris.
Right.
Do you want to see the sitting room?
Yes. Yeah.
Now, I'm not here, and you know that, Isabelle, to bully you
No.
into considering a house which you feel is absolutely not you. But I want you to...
I just feel this room's a bit dark.
It's an evening room. It's not a room you're going to sit in the day. The kitchen is where one spends one's daylight time for the most part. You're either out at work or you're in the kitchen. And then in the evening, you come in here, you cosy up, you draw the curtains.
Yeah.
Yeah, you seem quite sort of relaxed about things, Chris.
I am. I'm pretty... I think the thing I'm conscious of is the fact that I am still going to be at work during the week, and then potentially could be away for periods of time. So it's more important for me to know that Izzy's happy in the house.
Because she'll be spending all the time here.
Yeah, I mean, all I'm looking for really is the family home to come back to.
He's walking into every house and going, yeah,
That's
great,
a man's
this'll do.
perspective. He's not seeing it from a woman's, you know.
It's rather touching. He just wants you settled, doesn't he?
He does, yes. That's the bathroom.
That's quite spacious, isn't it?
Yeah, and the second bedroom.
You see, you could easily get a double bed in here.
Yeah, but look at all the work we'll have to do.
Is Isabelle looking at a different house to me?
Hello.
Hiya.
Well, she still looks a bit miserable, and I'm sure it's not because I've turned up.
No, it's not because you've turned up. No, I really like Isabelle, but she is as particular and likes everything as well presented as she is. There's a tiny, weeny little bit of princess in her.
Okay.
The question is, could we be happy here once we had done that work?
I don't think I could.
He is staying stum.
She wants his back up. And
she wants him to have opinions and all.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was keeping stum because she was being very vocal.
No.
Isn't that interesting?
I'm just not feeling it.
Okay, well, that's the answer.
What about you?
Well, no. No, sorry.
What?
No, that's fine, because I've said.
What? Sorry?
No, I've just said that. That's the answer.
All right, well, don't, because it makes me look as if it's just me.
Yeah, but
I need to know. I don't know how you feel about this house. Because, I mean, this is just me. I don't feel happy. I think there's far too much work here for us.
OK. Well, we're a couple, aren't we? So if one of us doesn't like it, the other one's not going to force the person to live here, so...
OK, that's fine.
All right?
Yeah.
Let's go and have a look at the next one.
This week, we're helping 2 couples find new houses for their new lifestyles. Mel and John have lived all around the world and now want to settle in the Cotswolds to start their family.
Our second couple, Chris and Isabelle, are looking for their dream marital home. But for Isabelle, there's perhaps a little too much dream and not enough reality. However, I shall not be defeated. I've got great confidence in our next property, and it's going to win through.
So you've got the white picket fence, really? Thumbs up so far?
Yep, definitely, so far.
So far, so good. That's what I like to hear.
A much better start than last time. With 2 bedrooms, a separate living room and a pretty rear garden, this could really work for them. It is £5,000 over their £210,000 budget, but in this buyer's market, there's always a deal to be done, and I've got a plan up my sleeve that can make all the difference.
So in we come. I wanted to show you the sitting room first of all.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Rather.
Gosh.
It's nice, isn't it?
Very, very nice, yeah.
It's a nice big room.
It's beautiful. Oh, my word.
Belfast sink. Are you a fan of Belfast
I am.
sinks?
She is.
Yeah. It's
She's always wanted one.
It's a lovely rustic kitchen. There's a huge window.
I'm just going to have to stop
We
you
need to
because
ask you the price, Kirstie.
I'm getting a bit emotional.
The price isn't the worst we've seen.
Right.
It's on the market at 215,000. They've had an offer from someone who's in a chain at 204,000.
Right.
There is a possibility that she'd accept something between 2.4 and 2.15. And what I'm going to say now is just utterly heartbreaking, so just don't scream at me.
No.
If you pay that level for a house, I would want you to seriously consider not moving into it for the time being, okay? Because to be able to put a year or 18 months rent under your belt would make those first few months with a new baby, when you didn't want to be working, much more relaxing.
Good point, well made. With both of them working with live-in accommodation, they're in an almost unique situation to buy a house and stabilise their finances. They'd be crazy not to at least consider your advice.
And you think you can fit a double bed?
Yeah, I think you could fit a double bed. Not a big one, but sort of queen size.
No. It's a
Or
nice little
smaller.
room, isn't it?
No, definitely. It's a nice view.
Beautiful.
So, we found the dream. This is the house. And all Isabelle wants is for Chris to carry her over the threshold. But I want them to rent this house for 2 years and wait for the dream, because that's the way to secure their financial future. What's the likelihood of me succeeding in that ambition? Nil, I reckon. But we'll see.
You happy?
Very happy.
Good.
Got everything that I wanted and more.
Excellent.
So, with any luck, that's Chris and Isabelle sorted. Time to save Spencer's search.
It doesn't need saving, Allsopp. As usual, doing perfectly fine without you. Mel and John are on the hunt for a 4-bed house fit for a family. They're planning to adopt in the next few years and need a house to call their own. But so far, none of the houses have been big or rural enough. Until now.
They've been in it 36 years and they obviously
36?
decorated it to celebrate their 20th wedding anniversary in 85. Honestly, I swear it should be listed in its current state. I haven't seen such a pristine example of the 80s genre for years. But to be serious, it's a fantastic house which has got a really good combination of entertaining space. In fact, would you say it's the best entertaining space?
Without shadow. It's the
Yeah.
biggest
Oh,
house
really?
that we've shown you.
Yeah.
Kirstie's, I think, hit on the word here, which is combination. Combination of garden, square footage, location, price. We think we've got it here. At 495 grand, this large farmhouse has an open plan, if unusual, feel about it. With a huge garden, 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms and a horseshoe-shaped living area running around the ground floor, this could be the family home they dreamed of.
The decor might not be to their taste, but it's been lovingly looked after and has a really homely feel.
It has 4 bedrooms.
Yeah.
But one of them is up a separate staircase with its own bathroom. Right. And then the other 3, there's only 1 bathroom and that's en suite. So, Mel, up we come. 2 more bedrooms up there.
Yep.
But this is the master bedroom. And then, rather intriguingly,
Oh, wow.
oh wow, oh wow, is it? Yes.
Well, at least we know the plumbing's here for an ensuite.
Yes, yes.
So utility room here, but what
Great.
about this?
I have to say, this has got a really good feel for me. This place, from what we've seen so far, outside, upstairs, here, I can see it really working for us. Being honest, between you and me, I think Mel's in love with the ideal of a cottage and that cottage thing. I think having had big rooms in Sydney, big rooms in Glasgow, I think she'd struggle a little bit. And it's trying to, for me, that's what I think, and trying to help her understand that without her biting my head off.
Could that happen?
No. It's just how big the bite is.
Okay.
Before we saw this house, I thought we were going to be down to a short list of two where I was advocating one and he was advocating the other.
Oh, Lord above, that's
It
difficult.
might have all gone up in
Yeah.
the air, having seen this, because I do actually think he will
He
be
seems
totally,
hugely
He will be
enthusiastic.
totally blown away by the scale of this house. This, to John, this is an aspirational house.
Yeah.
This is I've grown up and I've made it. And
Yeah. It is,
here's
it's
the
totally,
proof.
it's like, this is the house I put on, this is the roof I put over my wife's head, and
Yep.
this is really spectacular, and I'd like my mates to come around and smoke cigars and
Yep.
drink brandy
absolutely.
in this house, yeah.
Exactly.
Not that I want to make any male stereotypes.
But you're right.
Yeah.
How offensive.
I just need somewhere to have a fire. Man needs fire.
Why?
Because men do.
You've got your barbecue.
Oh, yeah. I need a fire as well.
Yet strangely accurate.
It all seems to be moonlight and roses, and they're agreeing on this house.
Don't
and...
worry, it was Moonlight and Roses before you arrived.
No, it was not.
It
They didn't.
was.
No, they didn't agree. Mel told me they didn't agree on the houses, and you hadn't found something which they both liked.
No,
and now
that's-
this house
no,
is like
you're making it
head
up.
and shoulders above all the others. And
Yeah, this is
yeah,
absolutely bang on.
yeah. So yet again,
No, you
Kirstie
can't say
said-
that. You will go in troubled waters.
don't you dare!
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing really you need to do to this garden other than maintain it.
Absolutely.
It's just fantastic.
When can we move in?
And it's even, I've always wanted a walled garden. We've got a walled garden. It's everything and more.
Well, it seems that I've done my work. Go away again. Yeah. My work
Our fairy
is done.
godmother.
Fairy God, don't encourage her, for God's sake.
I've waved my magic wand, and now I will say adieu. Phil is probably capable of negotiating this deal for you.
Probably. I have to put up with an awful lot.
You do.
Fairy Godmother? More like Wicked Witch of the West. Hope it doesn't rain, Allsopp. The first property we showed Isabelle and Chris was too small. The second property was too loud. So there was only ever going to be one decision for their second viewing.
The next day, it's straight back to the third property, the character-filled semi-detached cottage. Isabelle liked the period features and Chris liked the fact that Isabelle, well, liked it. This is an open and shut case. Or is it?
It's just whether we can fit just a double bed.
Yeah.
What are we looking at? That's 4 foot,
Yep.
which is what they call an occasional double.
Yes, which is what
Probably
we
we
want.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So, is it a goer?
Yep. I think it's a go.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, it's a definitely from
Yeah.
Isabelle.
I'd definitely like to go ahead.
I suppose it's definitely a go then.
Right, yep.
So how's it feel to be back?
Good.
Yeah?
Good, yep.
Still the front runner?
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Meanwhile, Mel and John are back at the farmhouse, which is just below their budget at 495 grand. It's large, open plan, filled with character and ready for a family. They already love the house, so I thought we'd spend a bit more time focusing on the barn. Well, listen, just before we go in, I just wanted to explain about this barn and the garage, because that's also owned by people who own this house,
Okay.
which they are happy to sell, and they're asking £62,000 for it. It would be done as 2 separate transactions because it's on a separate title.
Right.
Right.
If whoever buys this house doesn't buy it, the person who owns that house will buy it.
Right.
Okay.
There's no doubt it would be a lovely thing to have, but it's quite an expensive piece of property given that this is the top end of your budget. I think the awkwardness is if you don't buy it, you're going to lose it.
Yes.
Yep.
So let's come in and have a look anyway.
Okay.
You've got parking for 2 there, and then this is a sort of currently a workshop, but garaging for 2. There's another level up above.
Yeah.
Right.
It would be a spectacular office.
Yeah.
Yep.
It would, wouldn't it?
Absolutely.
But let's remember, the barn is just the icing on the cake here. Somehow, we need to get a bathroom or a shower room on this level. Ideally a bathroom, because you're thinking of children.
Okay.
It's possible, but
Good.
it all comes at an expense. And you're going to compromise one or both of the bedrooms in doing so, but it is possible. Well, I hope that was helpful.
Very much so.
Yeah.
That's great.
Lots to think about.
Well, why don't we go and get ourselves a drink? And he says, smiling at that point. I don't know why I did that. And think about what we're going to do and go from there.
Sounds
Okay.
It looks like they've finally come together and made a joint decision. With no family bathroom and all that 80s decor to rip out and replace, we do need to keep the price down. And there's already been quite a bit of interest in this property. Let's just talk about the garage and where your thoughts are with that.
I think it'd be great to have that. I need to go away and do the numbers. So I think we'd like to make an offer on the house and wonder whether we could get some sort of exclusive period where we have first right of refusal for a period of time.
Well, it's on at 495,000. My feeling is that it's a sensible price, even in this market. That is not an unreasonable asking price, but it's a buyer's market, and we've got to try and take advantage of that for you. My suggestion is we start at 475,000. We gauge reaction from there.
Okay. Sounds like a plan.
We've had another very good viewing today, and I'm pleased to say my clients do want to put in an offer. The price that they're willing to pay is 475,000. They're mindful that as much as they like the house, they want to do quite a lot of work to it. The major issue being sorting out the bathroom. In order to do that, and in order to proceed and buy the house, they want to feel comfortable and confident that they're buying it at the right price. Could I make one other request? That they would be interested in the garage. If the vendor could give them a sort of month to try and scrape together the money and persuade someone to lend them some more money. Yes, please. Thanks, Katie. Good luck. Cheers. Bye.
Meanwhile, at £215,000, this property is £5,000 over Isabelle and Chris's budget. However, as they both have live-in accommodation provided with their jobs, I suggested that they rented the property out for a year to balance their books.
I've got to ask this question. Do you think you will be able to bring yourselves to rent that house?
We've discussed it a lot.
Yeah.
Initially, no, because the reason is, it's not that I was talked into it. The reason is
You were talked into it.
I wasn't, Kirstie. The reason is because we have spent a lot of time apart, as a lot of couples have. But we're in a position now, fortunately, through where I've been posted to, that we're in a position where we can, for the next year and a half, actually enjoy living together.
Yeah.
Which may not be the case in a year and a half's time. And we just feel it would be an opportunity. Because of the work we do, it'd be an opportunity we'd be silly to miss. We love the property. Ideally, what we'd be looking for is to get the property included with all the solicitor's fees, stamp duty, for within 210,000.
I don't think you could buy that house without spending less than about £4,000.
Yep, I agree.
So if you wanted everything all in for 210, you wouldn't be in a position to offer more than 2.6.
No.
I think that's what we'll look at doing. Is an offer for 2.6.
And you could come back from honeymoon to that house.
I think we're sacrificing the honeymoon for this.
Are you?
Yeah.
So you're going to spend your honeymoon in that house?
Yep.
Oh my God, in which case I have to secure it. In which case you've given me a fantastic negotiating tool.
Yes.
Shall I go ahead and do it? I've never rung up an agent and said, we're making an offer and the money included in the purchase price was going to be spent on the honeymoon.
No, that's true.
It is true.
Yep.
Right, okay. We, Isabelle and Chris and I have just had a long chat. Their maximum budget for everything, all told, was £210,000. So it's not possible to purchase a house at 200,000 for less than £4,000, which would leave £206,000 in the pot. Now, that £206,000 includes the money for their honeymoon. They intend to spend their honeymoon in that house. Let me have a word. I mean, that was our best offer, but let me have a word, and we'll see. Right. It's obvious that it's all very, very tight at her end. Any more could make a difference. That she just isn't in a position to accept 206, much as she might want to. And I think that was genuinely meant. I think both of you are counting every last penny.
Yeah. I think we need to go and have a think about it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she's playing silly buggers.
No, I don't
No,
agree.
I don't. I'd agree with you there.
With Isabelle and Chris already at the top of their budget, they have some serious thinking to do.
You know, she might accept 2.8. But, you know what?
If she doesn't, then I'd be like, well, she's obviously wanting us to go up more and more, and like, where is the stop point?
Yeah. I know. Yeah, where does it stop?
Hey. All right. Yes, I'm okay. You okay?
Yes.
Just about, yes.
Yeah. It's all difficult, this.
Yes.
Just as stressful as planning a wedding.
Yeah, it certainly is. I think we're definitely going to leave it for today. We're going to have a think about it tonight. Initial feelings at the moment is that we came here, we entered into looking for a property with a budget.
Yeah.
It wasn't picked off the top of our heads. I mean, that was really the maximum we could afford.
Yeah.
So, as I say, we'll have a think about it tonight, but at the moment, we think that may be it for that house.
Mel and John's initial offer of 475 has been rejected, but the vendors come back with 485, 10 grand off the original asking price, and offered 6 months exclusivity on the barn. So, what do we do? If we want to get it in the 480s, somewhere between 480 and 485, I think we need to put another 5 in the pot now and sort of best foot forward. We're here to buy it. I won't say it's the best and final offer, but I'll allude to that fact.
I'm happy with that. You happy with that?
Yep.
Hi, Katie, it's Phil again. That didn't take too long because they will pay some more money, but they can't get all the way, I'm afraid. They'll pay 480. They'll put another 5 in the pot, and that really is as far as it's possible to justify the value of the house today. Yes, excellent. Thanks, Katie. Bye. She's good. She's good. I've got to give her that. He'll be a brave man if he turns it down. And the vendor is indeed a brave man, holding out for 485 grand. It was just too much for Mel and John.
Unfortunately, we'd gone as far as we could financially, and at that point, I think on about the Wednesday, we decided to pull out, and we just couldn't afford what he was asking.
But this pair aren't nursing broken hearts.
Really good experience. Loved every minute of it. It was really good fun and really helpful. Phil and Kirstie are great at helping couples identify what's really important to them and what's not.
So now it's time to look to the future.
I think we've realised that the priority for us is the adoption process, and that means putting finding a property on the back burner.
And what of Izzy and Chris? They decided not to push their finances into the Cheltenham cottage and have gone completely off-brief. They bought a flat, and it's a new build.
Which is completely opposite to what we were looking
Completely
for.
opposite to what we were originally looking for.
So why the big change?
When Chris brought me here, I realised that, you know, if I had let some of the things go that I really wanted, I would get a lot more space. And also, they did say that with Chris in his job being, you know, perhaps suddenly going away, they said that these were very rentable.
Yeah.
At least we've taught them to compromise. Well, at least where houses are concerned.
I found you a bit difficult at times.
Well, I wasn't going to say I found you difficult, but okay.
But we still love each other
We still
lots.
love each other.